Alright, what's up everybody, it's Roku back with some more League of Legends content, and today I've got a brilliant video for you guys. This is my Darius Matchup Tier List video where I'm going to be going through every single matchup in the game in order to tell you guys how to basically either beat or at the very least survive against every single matchup there is, right? So yeah, this video is going to be very useful to a lot of you guys, and some of you might remember that I made a video like this early in the year, I think February, but the problem with that video is that it's not too accurate right now. Like, a lot of it is still useful, but I forgot some matchups. Some matchups have changed over time. There are newer matchups like Gwen, Viego, and also Volibear that I forgot to put there. And yeah, right, I want to correct all those mistakes by making this super perfect matchup tier list video. And yeah, I'll try to have timestamps somewhere, either like a pinned comment or in the description. So if you don't want to go through everything, and I'm pretty sure you don't, you can just take a look over there. And I'll probably have like timestamps for you guys to use. And the good thing about that will be that, you know, if we have the timestamps properly sorted out, you guys will be able to basically use this video before every single match and just get like a quick 2-3 minute intro to what you should do in lane, which should be, you know, perfect for you. Anyway, without further ado, let's explain our tiers. Extreme Threat. So this tier is basically the tier of the champions who just completely mess you up in lane. You can't step up to farm, you can't really do much in lane, they poke you down, they do a lot of damage, or their kit just works in a way where they like completely hard counter you. And yeah, these are the matchups where unless the enemy makes a massive mistake, or if you get jungle help, you're probably not going to do too much. Next, High Threat. These are the matchups that are winnable, but are difficult to win. Like, they're not in your favor. They're in the favor of these champions, because these champions have either kits or things they can do where, like, because of how they work, they're destined to win most fights. So you have to be very careful in the types of trades and fights that you pick against these champions. So yeah, this is the High Threat. It's still beatable, but very difficult. Skill matchup. It's self-explanatory. The better player wins the skill matchup. And yeah, there's not much to it. It's just the better player wins. Next, Minor Threat. Minor Threat is like, these are the matchups that you are supposed to win most of the time, but it's not so free because they have things in their kit that make it so that they can kill you under the right circumstances. And the last tier is Free Lane. You honestly shouldn't be losing to these guys, and if you do, there are very big problems with how you lane, or you just, you know, have never fought them before, whatever. They're very free, so yeah. Aside from a few things to watch out for, you're pretty much set, you know, by just existing against them. And yeah, the Mundo icon isn't updated, but this is the new Mundo, by the way. Anyway, so let's just get right into it, starting off with the extreme threats, Heimer. And by the way, it's separated in tiers. I'm going to go down tiers one by one. And the tiers are sorted out, I think, alphabetically. I am not too sure if I put them correctly, but I honestly don't care. This is the order of the tier list, and I'm just going to go down from left to right. Anyway, so, Heimer. So, Heimerdinger is a very cancer matchup, because he does a ton of damage in lane. His thing with his kit is that he gets a ton of move speed around his turrets, and if he hits you with a W, the rockets, or an E, his stun grenade, and there are rockets nearby, all the rockets are like, not rockets, and there are turrets nearby, all the turrets are charged, and when a turret is charged, it sends this like bluish sort of, you know, line attack, and if you get hit by 2 or more turrets that have that, then, like, you know, you basically just lose half your health because, you know, Heimer deals fair amounts of damage, apparently. Yeah, Heimer is a very difficult matchup to just survive in lane with. You can't CS at all, and he can also just poke you down the turret. Like he has the range to just mess you up while you're under turret trying to CS things. So yeah, this matchup is not fun at all, and yeah. So the things you have to take into this matchup are definitely Second Wind and Unflinching, okay? Make sure you take MR instead of AD and Armor in your runes as well. So for your runes, take MR, Second Wind, and Unflinching. Resolve, of course, because they're in, you know, Resolve. But we're still taking Conquer, right? In the game, you should be building Merc Treads first, so that you can kind of overcome the CC, and you should be building additional magic resist, unless you've already killed him. But until you kill him, you need magic resist. The magic resist item I would recommend would be Spectre's Cowl, but you can also take a no mantle and just sit on that if there are more important things to buy. So against Heimer, it's all about your E, okay? Because like last season, we don't have our Strikebreaker to look forward to, right? Last season we could basically just, if all else fails, just survive until Strikebreaker, and then try to catch him and try to one-shot him. But we can't really do that anymore, so you basically have to make sure to keep your eyes open for situations where you can just pull him. The thing about Heimer is, once you pull him, he's basically just a free kill because he has so less HP, right? So because of him having an insane, like very low base stats and tankiness, you just have to get that pull and kill him. But you have to very carefully play around his stun grenade. So try your best to dodge the stun grenade, and try your best to look for like situations where you can pull him. The best way to do so would be to observe how the specific Heimer player moves. So what you can do is like try to act like you're, you can't actually fight him under your turret or whatever. Like he keeps trying to poke you under turret, right? So you don't really do much against him. You play passively, and one of these times when he walks up to poke you, you just activate Ghost and you just run at him and E him, and then he's just basically dead because we basically trained him to be too aggressive in lane, and then we use that training to just kill him, right? So it's more of a fighting game thing, but it applies in top lane. So yeah, that's the way you can kill Heimers. It's all about your E and just playing around that. The next champion, the next matchup, is Quinn. Now, Quinn isn't the hardest champion to 1v1, but the issue with Quinn is that once she hits level 6, she's basically omnipresent for her team. She's gonna be everywhere on the map. She's gonna be bot lane, she's gonna be mid lane, she's gonna participate in every single fight faster than you, and she'll be back after finishing that fight. She'll be back in lane in time to soak up whatever minions they've shoved into her turret. Now, against Quinn, you basically have to survive until level 3 without taking too much poke, right? This is the normal range top lane sort of way of playing, where you have to know the range of the person you're playing against, right? Like, know the range of the champion you're playing against, and stay out of it, and try your best to get some XP for the minions that are dying, but, not going for the CS that will cost you half your health, right? So yeah, that's how you play against range matches and how you play against Quinn earlier on. And you have to basically know that she doesn't actually beat you in all-ins just straight up. If you pull her, if you land your RW, if you land your Q, you do kill her. But it's just a matter of how badly she kites you. If she kites you really badly, she has PTA Ignite, and she just kites you quite effectively, she can very easily just murder you. So you have to just play in a way where she cannot do that. Once you get Ninja Tabis or plated steel caps, it should be a free lane for you. And for runes, you can take double armor or one armor if you're cocky, and a second wind. Those are quite good against Quinn. So yeah, once you get Ninja Tabis, you should be trying your best to just see if you can all in her and kill her. But the thing is, once she gets Gale Force, you basically can't do anything against her without your Ghost because she's way too mobile. And Riot thought it was a good idea to give ADCs their Gale Force and take away our Strikebreaker, so woohoo! Anyway, so the next matchup is Vayne. Now, Vayne is known to be a hilariously bad matchup for Darius. Everybody knows this. Vayne destroys Darius, right? So yeah, most of the time this is a weakness, but in some cases it can be an advantage, because a person who doesn't play Vayne and who doesn't really know the matchup that well from the perspective of a Vayne might just pick it into you, thinking they can easily beat you. And if you know the matchup properly, you will just murder her. The thing to understand against Vayne is to understand power spikes and how they work. You have to be very understanding of what your power spikes are and when you can kill her. So you can kill her at level 3, at level 6, and once you finish plated steel caps. These are the 3 points in time and in lane where if you pull her, you can bring the lane back and start winning the lane. So the key thing is to just pull her and just try to kill her. Now, a big thing to notice is when you're trying to pull her, you don't want to do it when she has tumble up, because she can very easily just, not tumble, I don't know what her dash thing, right? You don't want to pull when she has that up unless you know it'll hit, because if a Vayne knows the range of it, she can easily just dash out of your E. And if you miss your E against like Vayne, it's basically just game over because she really messes you up. Right? It's not even funny how much she's gonna poke you down. So you better not miss your E. And what you can do if you're close enough is just goes towards her and try to W her. This does work more as a guarantee, but this should only be done if she's on your side of the lane, because if you do it in the middle or something, then, you know, she's going to condemn you, and the rest of the lane won't be long enough for you to just chase her and kill her. So, yeah. Need second wind for sure. Armor is important, but you don't need two things of armor, you just need one thing of armor, the other thing can be AD, and you have to rush Tabis. From then on, you can basically just go for your mythic after you go for your Tabis, because like any more armor isn't gonna help you to like much against her. Like the thing about Vayne is that you actually don't like outscale her or anything, and she basically just beats you in a 1v1 in the like throughout the entire game. You only beat her earlier on if you make use of your power spikes properly, but she will eventually get to a point where she very easily just beats you. And very easily, right? So once she gets 2 items, you basically can't kill her anymore, 1v1. Unless you're like, I don't know, 4 or 5 items. But if that lead is that big, then why haven't you ended the game, dude? Anyway, so yeah, try your best to either send someone else to match her and you work with your team, or whatever, just ignore her as you just crush her team, okay? But yeah. Those are the extreme threat matchups. Now we're gonna move on to our high threat matchups. Akali. Now, Akali isn't, like, exactly... the Akali matchup is very tricky, and is very skill-reliant. If the Akali is bad, this matchup becomes kind of easy, but if the Akali kind of plays perfectly and knows your ranges, this matchup kind of becomes impossible, because she is, like, very, very difficult to just get a hold of. She's very difficult to kill in lane, and her level 6 power spike is insane. Like, she can just straight up just kill you with level 6 and ignite, or if you catch her, she could just use her level 6 to get away from you. It's like an escape as well. So Akali is a very, very... It's basically trying to win the lane until she gets to level 6, okay? That's like the main sort of difficulty in this lane. You have to, like... You can build some MR in lane, but it's not going to help too much, right? You have to just kill her, because once you hit level 6, that's it. You can no longer kill her unless you make intelligent usage of your flash, right? So yeah, the things to watch out for, you need Sweeper first of all, because she likes to hang out in her shroud a lot, so you need Sweeper to be able to land your Qs while she's in her shroud, and a lot of Akalis use their shrouds in a tricky ways to like get away from you, so Sweeper is like a godsend basically against her. You gotta know the range of her, like, the kunai toss thing, right? Like her poke. Because the thing about that is, when she's doing that, she has to stand still. Even if it is for a fraction of a second, she has to kind of, like stand still and do it. Whereas you can kind of move with your Q. So what you do is, you kind of walk into her, you walk back, she walks into you to do her kunai thing, and then you walk in and you start your Q. And if you time it correctly, and if you watch me play against Akalis, you will see me do this a lot, but if you time it correctly, you will hit your Q at the same time she hits her thing. And you will win the trade, because our Q does more damage, our Q heals us, and, you know, like a part of that ability for Akali is getting that passive auto in, not just that. Like I think it's her Q or something, so yeah. So you have to know the range of it, first off, to be able to effectively beat her in trades. Second thing, you have to be aware of how her shroud works. And, like, you can't just, like... How do I say this? Unless you have a bunch of stacks on her already, you should try not to fight too much in her shroud, unless you have Sweeper. If you have Sweeper, things get much easier, because you can kind of plan around where she is and hit your Qs. But if you don't have Sweeper, then she's just going to get in and out of her shroud and just poke you down and then execute you with her ultimate. So it's going to be very, very tricky. So yeah. Her E, the shuriken toss thing, try to understand how it works, go to the wiki, read about it. If she tosses it in her shroud, she can actually, like, you know, E and go back to it, right? It's not just minions, champions, or whatever, it also works in her shroud, which is kind of stupid, but, you know, Akali's a nice champion. So yeah, those are the things to watch out for. and just know the range of her abilities, and know that before 6 you murdered her. Okay, so try your best to just eliminate her before 6, because once she gets to 6, you're either gone or you're not going to be able to kill her ever again. Next matchup is Gangplank. Gangplank is a very, very annoying champion, and this is more of a higher elo thing, to be honest, because in lower elos, the Gangplank is going to be handless and killable. But anyway, so Gangplank's main strength is his zoning. He can zone you very, very hard with his Q and his barrels, and it's very difficult to get in range to actually CS without taking a ton of damage. And the bad part is, his barrels actually slow you as well, so you can't even walk up to him to try to fight him. He just barrels you, it blows up, and then he just walks away like a bitch. So yeah, with Gangplank, you have to basically try to not do too much to level 1 and 2, because those earlier levels, he just Q spams you and he can push you out of lane that way. So you gotta chill level 1, level 2, and you can only start playing the game from level 3 and 4 onwards, okay? So from level 3 and 4 on, you do bash his face in all-ins, okay? You do beat him. So what you gotta do is, hang back, don't fight him level 1 and 2, let him push into the turret, and then once your wave is pushing against him, you look for all-ins, okay? If you have the HP, if you haven't lost too much HP from farming or whatever, then you should be able to just kill him in an all-in, thanks to your ghost, and thanks to, hopefully you being the better player, I guess. But yeah, try to look for all-ins post level 3. Level 6, we do kill him in all-ins quite effectively, but the hard part against Gangplank is 1, getting through the early levels, and 2, finding those key little moments to all-in him, right? A big thing is his barrels. Try your best to use your auto W to kill his barrels. It's very important to have attack speed into Gangplank actually, so you have the attack speed to actually kill the barrels faster than him. So yeah. Our next matchup is Gragas. Gragas isn't really a matchup that's going to kill you and dominate you per se, but Gragas basically just eliminates you from the game by stonewalling the laning phase. Gragas trades insanely well into Darius, and on top of all of that, he's basically just impossible to kill, because if he takes phase rush, he basically hits you, slows you, and slams his belly into you and stuns you while he just walks away, and you basically can't do anything about it. The key to killing Gragas is reading the player, okay? You have to understand when this person goes for the belly slam thing, when this person dashes into you to stun you and then walks away. When they do that, the only way you can kill a good Gragas is by canceling his, dash into you, okay? Or by Eing when he E's, so that he's actually in range for you to, goes towards him and stuff when he, so that he can't just walk away while you're stunned, okay? You have to make sure that you E him properly and, hopefully in the middle of it, okay? Otherwise, it's gonna be, it's gonna take very bad, major positioning errors from the Gragas for you to kill him, right? So try to read the player, try to cancel his belly slam. Don't try to dodge the poke where he just throws a barrel and it explodes. Try your best to dodge that, and try to kind of imagine how he can use his ultimate against you. For example, if you're under his turret, he can actually ult you into his turret. So be careful of how he can use his ultimate so that you can kind of play around it, okay? The next matchup is Gwen. Gwen is an insanely overpowered character and is very, very, very cancerous. The fact that she's still in the game in this state, and Riot has no intention of nerfing her, so I guess we just gotta get used to it. Anyway, so against Gwen, you want to just step back level 1, okay? You do not win level 1. Her E is so outstat, it's so strong, they put so many things into it, that she will kill you and your jungler level 1, okay? So, back off level 1, don't do anything, okay? Even if she stands in front of your minions and stops you from getting XP, you can't. You can't actually walk up for XP or anything, okay? Just try to stay in the range of your XP, but if she is in your face, there to just beat you down for even doing that, then, get out of there, I guess, It sounds really crazy, but there's virtually nothing you can do against her level 1. She just wins, okay? Don't even think that W start is going to help. She gets higher range than you, her E is faster mobility than you, it gives her attack speed, and her attacking with her E means that the cooldown of the E is down, so she can use it again, okay? You do not win level 1. Level 2 onwards, it kind of gets more, like, doable, right? If you use your Flash and Ghost properly to kite her, if you don't get outplayed by her W, you do beat her, but it takes a lot of good kiting, and you have to make sure to not stand in the 2 damage portion of her, Q or snip or whatever that is, right? You have to make sure that you're moving all the time, so that at least the side of it hits you, kind of like Sett W. So that the side of it hits you, so that you only take magic damage and not the true damage. So yeah, it's a very, very annoying matchup. So you have to just survive level 1, and from level 1 until level 6, you have to just play around her properly and kite her properly, and she's perfectly killable at that point, okay? Magic resist helps, but you do need a bunch of health in this matchup too, because she does do a lot of true damage. And if like push comes to shove, you can also get an executes or something, because her healing does matter when she has her ultimate. And speaking of her ultimate, you have to kill her quickly when you're both level 6. The longer the fight goes, the more she's going to be able to do, because like Gwen has no stop to her like damage, whereas like with Darius, the stop to your damage is basically your ultimate, right? From ultimate on, your damage goes down, but for her, there is no stop. She just constantly does DPS, 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 DPS. So don't spare whatever you need to do to put her down, and put her down fast, okay? She can very easily just keep hitting you and sustain using your passive and just kill you, okay? So put her down fast, and kite her properly, okay? So yeah, that is the Gwen matchup. For Jayce, Jayce is a tricky matchup, and this matchup highly depends on the skill of the Jayce player. If the Jayce player is good at the game, then you're basically just out of luck, because he's never going to let you touch the wave or do anything. But we're lucky, because most Jayce players, that, especially ones that play against you guys, are going to be this good. So the key things are to, like, much like the Vayne matchup and stuff, try to understand when you're strong, okay? Against Jayce, you straight up murder him in all-ins beyond level 6, you beat him level 3 on, and you beat him with Tabis, okay? So try to work around these power spikes, and try to force all-ins when you get them, okay? Jayce outtrades you insanely hard, okay? He outtrades you super hard, okay? So level 1, level 2, don't even step up to lane, okay? You can step up to get some CS if he lets you, but if he's aggressive, then concede territory, okay? Don't get hit by him, because he can just chunk you out so hard, so fast. And until the end of the lane, you have to make sure to dodge his, like, the skill shot sort of electro blast thing that he sends, okay? You have to know how that works, the radius of it, so that you can actually dodge it, because it does a lot of damage once he gets some lethality, okay? Even if you build Toppies. So yeah, Jayce is very, very difficult to play against if he has phase rush, because basically, even if you do pull him, he's just gonna knock you back and phase rush one out. So what you gotta do is E him, and then walk behind him, okay? E and walk behind. You do not want to spend too much time just doing your combo or whatever, because he's just going to knock you back and murder you. And the only circumstance where you can do that is if he's on your side of the lane, where you can actually catch up with Ghost. Like, like you pull him, you combo, he knocks you back, but he has a lot of way to go to his turret, and you can just Ghost and catch up and kill him, right? So in cases where you can't do that, then you should be trying to walk behind him, so that if he knocks you back, he knocks you back towards his turret. So he has no escape, basically, okay? Now, obviously, don't do this when you're close to his turret, because then he can actually just knock you into his turret and just kill you, right? So just try to, like, position in a way. You can also position, like, between him and a wall, so that his knockback doesn't knock you too far back, okay? Just try to make sure that, like, the place where he's gonna knock you towards isn't gonna just stop the all-in, okay? That's like your number one priority. And beyond that, it's all about landing your Qs. Like, kiting is, like, you don't have to kite him, you just have to, like, go in on him and kill him, but yeah, okay? So, that knockback is, like, the number one thing you have to counterplay, and once you properly counterplay that, he's basically just gonna die, okay? Tabis always helps, and if you have further problems into this matchup, Warden's Mail is a godsend, so yeah, Warden's Mail is quite good. Apologies. Jax. I don't know why my nose is so scratchy, but whatever. The Jax matchup. So, the Jax matchup is quite difficult lately, because Basically, like Riot has reduced Darius' laning power, and the Jax matchup was the case that you always almost beat him, right? You almost lost him. I mean, right? We used to regularly beat him, but we almost lost. Okay, now that almost lost is we just lose because Jax just does a ton of DPS, is kind of tanky, and he can very like easily outplay our abilities. Okay, so how do we play against Jax? First off, bone plating works wonders into him, so get that. Second, you have to make sure to Q poke him level 1. Okay, level 1 before he gets his Q. Try to use your Q to do as much damage as possible. Anything you do is going to be good for you later on in lane. Okay. Beyond level 1, the lane actually starts getting difficult because we can never actually Q him. Okay. You can never start the fight against the Jax. Well, not never. There is a circumstance I'll get into right now. But you can't start to like poke Jax with Q because he'll just Q into you, stun you, beat your face, all that, okay? So never start with Q, okay? You can try to start fighting him with auto attacks. A thing you can do is like try to auto attack him so that you can bait his counter strike out, but just don't use your Q to start the fight, okay? So you want to bait him to use his counter strike because that's the main thing that's like stopping us from killing him, okay? Us not being able to get our W on him is the main reason why we can't just kill him, so we have to bait the counter-strike first. Once he gets his counter-strike out, you E, like to pull him while he has the counter-strike up, and you either walk out of the stun, or you walk to a position where he can't just get away, okay? And from this point on, the lane becomes infinitely more simple because he can't really dodge our Rs and Ws, okay? Once his counter-strike is gone, we can just basically just murder him, okay? Now, you do have to keep in mind that you still can't use your Q until he has his Q. Like, you still can't Q unless he jumps somewhere first, so you still have to keep that in mind, okay? So yeah, just keep it into auto attacks and Ws until his Q is out too, so that we're not just, wasting it, okay? Unless you're so much more fed than him, then him jumping into you is actually good for you because then, you can just kill him, okay? So yeah. Try to use your superior auto attack range against Jax. This is one of the, the matchups where our higher auto attack range is actually a good thing, okay? So you have to make sure to just, kite him insanely hard. We have, a 25 to 50 more attack range than him, depending on whether he has his W activated or not. So use that to make sure that we kite him, okay? Jax's DPS is higher than ours, so we have to make sure that he can only hit us when we can hit him, okay? So yeah, try to make sure how to you kite properly. Now, beyond level 6, once you hit level 6, you do beat him more, right? You do, provided you're even, you do beat him level 6. But, yeah, once he gets Bork, though, it does kind of become impossible to beat him 1v1, so, yeah, you have to make sure to not get messed up by his counter-strike. You have to make sure to land your Qs, which means not using it when he has his Q up. And if all else fails, you can look for a fight at level 6, okay? And you'll probably kill him, but yeah. Now, the weakness of Jax is when the lane is on when the wave is on your side of the lane, okay? When the wave is on your side of the lane, you can just mess him up, majorly, okay? So, if it's, just outside your turret, you can Q him for free, you can combo him for free, and this is how a lot of fights against Jax go. When he's trying to push the lane in, you can get a few stacks on him, just sneak a few, and then you can turn those into all-ins with your ghost or your flash, okay? So yeah, try to make sure you take advantage of, when the wave is on your side of the lane, okay? Because think, if you Q him, and he Qs onto you, he's basically just jumping into turret range, and you just kill him, okay? So yeah, try to play around with it like that, okay? Plated steel caps are amazing into him. Warden's Mail also works into him on top of steel caps, or just on its own if you can't build Toppies into the enemy team. And yeah, you basically just have to try to kill him until he gets Bork, because once he gets Bork, it's game over. In that you're not gonna be able to kill him 1v1, so you better just focus on teamfights, because guess what? Bork sucks in teamfights. So if you force him to be useful in teamfights too, you're gonna win out because you're way more useful. Next, next, okay. Kayle. Kayle is a weird matchup in that she's not a hard matchup. She just outscales you hilariously hard, once she gets to level 11. So yeah, to kill Kayle, you have to make sure you take advantage of her weakness pre-6, okay? She's melee range, so you have to just freeze her off of the wave, and when she touches the wave, just murder her as much as possible, okay? A lot of people, and myself included, used to recommend Phase Rush, but I don't anymore because Phase Rush doesn't give you the, like, you need the conquer damage to put her down quickly, okay? You gotta put this animal down as quickly as possible. So, yeah, try to, like, not stand near your minions too much, because her skill shot that, like, goes into the minions and spreads out has a very big hitbox. So, like, you want to be in a position where you can dodge it, but if you're standing behind your minions, it hits you and slows you, and you can't kill her anymore. I don't think there's much to, like, consider. Just honestly, just kill her, freeze her off with a wave. And the thing about her is that once she hits level 6, it's like a choice, okay? So you can either use your ult before she uses 6 to quickly burst her down, or you can use it after 6, so that, like, you know, or you can use it after 6 and just wait for her ultimate, okay? The thing is, you actually beat Kayle without needing your ultimate, right? You can beat her level 6 without your ultimate, but it just takes a lot of, like, you can't do it if she has her passive stacked up and she has Ignite or whatever, right? But if it's like a normal fight, you can kill her without your ultimate, but you just have to make sure to, like, you know, not waste key abilities during her ultimate. That's the way she kills you, okay? So, to be honest, just try to auto-attack her to death, and then once she uses her ultimate, then you can either go for an ult or an auto-attack to just put her down. A big thing to keep in mind is she can't cast her ultimate if she's stunned, okay? She can't cast ult if she is stunned. This means that, basically, if she's almost about to die, right? Let's say our ult damage is 300, but she's 350. What you can do is you can E her, or attack an R, and kill her before she has the opportunity to use her ultimate, okay? Or if you have a jungle that does a lot of damage, you can kind of chain your guys' CC together to make sure that she just dies during the stuns, okay? So yeah, you can only do the pull auto attack R thing if you have good attack speed though, okay? So yeah, just keep that in mind. Ugh, Jesus Christ. It's already 30 minutes and we haven't even gone through half the matchups. Okay. Lee Sin. This is a annoying matchup because Lee Sin trades insanely well. Okay, his trading with his E is insanely well. He just presses that and it does magic damage, so you can't really like counterplay it too hard. So yeah, he's kind of difficult to like match in lane a lot of times. And the other bad thing is his sustain is crazy with his W lifesteal, and his attack speed is really high, meaning that he can actually put up a solid fight against us, right, and actually kill us under certain circumstances. So you have to basically just make sure that you understand the ranges of his kit, that you hide behind your minions, but not. You have to kite his E, you gotta hide behind your minions, and you gotta make sure that you don't lose trades against him, okay? The thing about him is once we catch him in an unfavorable position, he actually can't get away, okay? Unless he has his ultimate, but he's just stuck, because all you can do is W to his own minions, and that's it, okay? So if the wave is on your side of the lane, and you get a nice Q or whatever onto him, you can just go for it and kill him, because he actually can't get away from us, okay? Now, once he has a 6, it's obviously significantly harder to kill him, okay? So it's kind of like Akali in that you should try to kill him before 6, but once 6 is passed, it just becomes way harder to kill him, okay? Talby's works well into him, but like I said, he does do a lot of magic damage with his, E, so Talby and health works great into him, okay? So, yeah, there's not really that much to watch out for other than, like, don't let him dodge your Q with his W or his Q, okay? So, if you can help it, if you can't help it, then try to, like, EQ or something, so that he can't just avoid your Q with his abilities or whatever, okay? And yeah, next matchup is Lucian. Lucian just a typical old range matchup. Don't know his range. Don't walk into like the minions to CS if he can like hurt you for it, right? Don't lose too much HP for CSing. Just stay in a speed range and you should be fine. The thing about Lucian is although he is like a lot more dangerous than other range matchups in All-Ins, he's also like one of the few range matchups where like once you pull him, there's not much you can do, okay? So try to look for the pull, okay? Look for the pull into him, and once you get that pull, you just murder him. So level 3 on, level 6 on, you do beat him in all-ins, right? So as long as he doesn't get too much of his ultimate damage onto you, you kill him quite easily, okay? So make use of your ghost properly, okay? Tabis is very, very important into Lucian. Very, very important to try to get that as soon as possible. And, yeah, there's not that much to actually look out for. Second wind does help, but I don't find it necessary. I personally like to go sorcery into Lucian so that I can catch him easily and murder him, right? So, yeah, that's basically all there is to the lane. Just try not to waste your E into him, because then he just, like, he embarrasses you with how bad he's gonna beat you down. Oh, also one more thing. He has that ability where he can shoot a skill shot through a minion. Try to make sure that there's no allied minion between you and him, because if there is, he's just gonna shoot through that and poke you down. The range of it is higher than you think. Okay, so yeah. Riven. This used to be a skill matchup, but because Riot love Darius, it's become a threatening matchup because a Riven, especially a well-played Riven, can very easily just mess you up, okay? A Riven with Ignite is basically unkillable. Like, she's killable, but she just one-shots you at level 1. And yeah, you basically have to make sure that you understand the extent of her abilities, okay? And you have to force her to waste her abilities as mobility, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? With a Riven, her Qs and her E are used for the most part to like get around as mobility, and they can also be used for damage, right? So by canceling your passive all attacks with her Q, she can get a lot of damage in, and if you let her do that, you are just gonna die, okay? So if you stand next to her and you let her get like a full Q combo off, she's gonna murder you. What you have to do is kite her properly to force her to use her Qs and waste them without using the auto cancels with her passive, okay? So that's a big key thing against her, okay? Force her to use the earlier Qs to like just get to you, okay? Now, a big thing is canceling her Q, the third one, with your E. If you know how she Qs, and if you time it right, you can cancel it in the middle of her jump. And this is just a death sentence for her, because you could do an auto W, Ghost, Q out, before she can do a W stun. At which point she has to E into you, but then you just murder her because she has no Qs or anything to fight against you, right? A big thing to watch out for is her W, right? A lot of Rivens like to do EW or something, or, you know, Flash W, so try to keep your eye out for that. Try to know the W range, it's not that big, just use your Ghost to, like, kite out of it. You don't even need to Ghost in some circumstances, right? And, yeah. A big thing to understand about Riven is power spikes, okay? Against Riven, you lose level 1 if she has no Ignite. I mean, if she has Ignite, you lose level 1. If she has Teleport, you win level 1, okay? Now, if she has no Ignite, it's generally far easier to beat her, okay? It's far easier to beat her. But no good Riven is gonna go Teleport. They're just gonna take Ignite because it makes the champion kind of broken. And she's so mobile, she doesn't even need Teleport that much. So yeah, balanced champion, right? So anyway, try to go for fights when she wastes major abilities to do stupid things, okay? Try to go for fights when she, like, you know, if you dodge your W or something, and if she wastes her Qs a lot, you can't go for fights then. You can go for fights once you get toppies, but it's kind of tricky because her level 6 power spike is insanely hard. So with Ignite and her ultimate, she can just 100 and oil you in like microseconds. So yeah, try to watch out for her, okay? You have to kite her like insanely hard, but it's just kind of tricky and counterintuitive because she has so much mobility, right? So yeah, that's the Riven matchup. Next is Warwick. Okay, a lot of you guys were wondering about this matchup, and I'm just gonna break it down into simpler terms. The thing about Warwick is that he's a very cheese matchup. Okay, he's very cheese, but all he does is be tough to kill in lane. Okay, Warwick is just hard to 1v1 in lane, but aside of lane, he's basically just completely worthless. Okay, so even if you do lose against him, you're gonna be far more useful than him, like, even if you don't try, okay? So, yeah. Against the Warwick matchup, you have to understand how his bite functions, okay? The way it works is, if you get in its range, he can bite, and he can, like, jump behind you if he holds it, okay? So, understand how it works, understand the range of it, and make sure you, like, use your Q to, like, not let him get, like, you have to use your Q and hit him with the very edge of the Q. If you let him get closer, he can just bite onto you and just dodge it and do a bunch of damage and get a range to just mess you up, okay? So you have to land your Qs properly to have a chance against this guy, okay? you have to kite him quite well, right? Land your abilities on him and kite him. He's kind of hard to kite than a lot of champions because every time his Q comes up, it's low cooldown. He just gets on top of you, so you gotta just work around that. You gotta make sure to use your ghost to dodge his fear thing, okay? So that's a big thing. Use your ghost to like walk out of his fear range because it's just kind of, it reduces damage and the fear is gonna give him time to get more attacks in. And the lane is kind of simple until he gets to level 6. Level 6, it becomes really, really hard to actually kill him because his ultimate gives him a lot of healing and it gives him a solid escape that you can't do anything against, okay? So by level 6, if you have problems into him, getting anti-heal kind of works, okay? The thing about Warwick is that he does a lot of all attacking, but a lot of his damage is also magic, right? His bite is magic damage, so we need MR into him, we need resistance against all attacks, and we need anti-heal to fully counter this guy. But all that effort just to beat Warwick is not worth it because you have to be prepared to fight his team more than him, okay? Okay, Wukong. Now, Wukong is still a very difficult matchup, but he's not as difficult as he used to be. A few of my other Darius player friends told me like that he's not that hard, and I kind of realized that I've had a big mental block against him. But here's the gist of it, okay? When he takes Ignite, don't do anything. But if he doesn't have Ignite, he's way more killable, okay? So if he has no Ignite, so if he's taken Teleport, you beat him level 1, okay? So level 1, D-Blade, W start, just murder him, okay? As long as you kite him properly, and you don't like eat your own all attacks by canceling them, you do destroy him, okay? So level 1, W start, if he has Teleport, okay? If he has Ignite, then, you know, we play safe, we don't do too much. All that. Bone Plating is great into him. Having some armor in the tank is good, but I would recommend having one thing of 80 and one attack speed. Conquer is like the only choice against him because with that we're just going to be going defensively earlier on. Warden's Mail works excellently against him. I'll try that on top of Tabi's against him. Never start the fight with Q. Don't start poking with Q because he can just like dash into you, okay? So try to fight with your all attacks until he uses his mobility, okay? Sweeper is very, very useful so that you don't accidentally waste things on his clone, okay? So Sweeper is very, very good. Try your Ghost to kite him out, like, to an extent. He's kind of mobile and stuff, so it's difficult, but, you know, try your Ghost to not make sure he hits you with his full ultimate, to make sure he doesn't, like, keep hitting you with all attacks when you don't have anything up, all that stuff. And, yeah. If he has Ignite, it gets very, very difficult, but if he has Teleport, it's kind of winnable, okay? Yorick. The Yorick matchup is kind of tricky. Here's the thing to understand. Yorick versus Darius, Darius wins. Yorick and his ghouls versus Darius, Yorick wins, okay? So, against Yorick, you're kiting his ghouls, but not him, okay? That's the weird part. You're kiting the ghouls, you're kiting Maiden, but you want to get to Yorick, okay? So, here's the gist, okay? And the tricky part about him is you do need Tabis, but you also need magic resist to like sustain some of the damage from the Maiden, because the Maiden does magic damage, okay? So against Yorick, you have to not get stuck in his cage and not get hit with the thing that aggroes the ghouls onto you, okay? Because if you get hit by both of them, you're basically just dead, or you gotta flash out, or you're gonna lose a ton of HP, okay? So yeah, try to like work around those. Use your Ghost and superior movement speed to kite as much of that thing and dodge as possible. Once he wastes those abilities, he's dead, okay? If he messes up the cage, if he messes up that, you know, that skill shot thing, he is dead. So you can just walk up and cut his ass down, but you have to make sure to not get caught in those. The thing about this cage is until he puts points into it, you can kill it with all Ws. So having good attack speed into him is very, very vital. And yeah, a thing you can do is get caught in his cage on purpose, and this is only something you can do on your side of the lane, right? So get caught in his cage on purpose, and once he throws a skill shot, you flash towards him and beat him down with Ghost. Even if he flashes away, right, you can still kill him, because if he misses those abilities, a massive portion of his damage is gone, so you have time to just kill him quickly until his cooldowns come back up, okay? So yeah. Overall, you have to make sure to like not like run away from lane too far, because Yorick will destroy your turrets very, very laughably fast. Okay, so yeah, that's the high threats. I'm gonna drink some iced tea as a break because you know I'm gonna. I've not even done half the matches, and I'm gonna be here for another 45 minutes, I think. So yeah, sorry for the constant nose itching and stuff, but I can't help it. Mm. Lemon flavored iced tea, nice. Okay, let's just get right into our next matchups. Skill matchups. Aatrox. Against Aatrox, you have to basically just dodge his Qs, okay? The bad part about this matchup is that a good Aatrox can just keep you at distance with his first Q. What you can do is land his first Q on you and just back off. Land his first Q on you and back off. And if the lane gets to like level 7 and you're not already winning, then it's gonna be hell for you because his Q is maxed out by that point and he can use it like he could just spam it in lane. Okay, so yeah, you have to basically just kill him before level 7, before he hits his Q power spike. If you do beat him before then it's very, very simple. You just murder this guy so hilariously much, it's like embarrassing how much he dies. An Aatrox that's behind not only is easy to kill because he's not that tanky, he also doesn't do that much damage, which means his healing is not that hard, like it's not that much, okay? So yeah. Against Aatrox, the most important thing is to dodge his Qs, okay? At least the sweet spot of it. Understand how the specific Aatrox uses his Qs and dodge them. If you get hit by the sweet spot of every single one of his Qs, you will die, okay? You will die, and you won't be able to kill him because he actually heals from all that damage. So try your best, use your ghost, flash, whatever, to dodge his Qs, okay? And once his Qs are out of commission, it's just a matter of like murdering him, honestly. When he W's you, try to walk out of it sideways so you don't get pulled into it, because then that just positions you for more Qs. In terms of runes, you can go for sorcery if you want to be happy feet, if you think you're talented or whatever, if you think you can dodge things. You can also go for like second wind or something if you're not so confident. Taking armor in the runes also works quite well because, you know, the trick against Aatrox is to get some armor. In terms of items, Tabbies is great, but I personally don't like it that much. Personally, I just go boots, armor, and executioners, and I only complete the boots, armor into Tabbies if if it's good into the rest of his team, right? If it's not good into the rest of his team, I just keep it on boots and armor, and I might upgrade the armor to Warden's Mail or something, okay? Because a lot of his damage is with his Qs, and Tabi doesn't work against abilities that much, okay? So yeah, I don't like Bramble that much. You can go Bramble, but I personally like Executioners more. But whatever the case is, anti-heal is required against him. So against Aatrox, you need movement speed, armor, and anti-heal. Okay, and how you get that is up to you. Okay, so yeah, Fiora. Fiora is a very difficult skill matchup. I would almost put this at high threat, but it takes a lot of skill to play her, so I'm just going to put her into the skill matchup category. So against Fiora, you have to understand, 1, how her ultimate spawns, and 2, how her dash works, and also how her riposte works, okay? You just got to make sure to understand how this champion works, every single ability, because all of them are ways that she can outplay you and you can outplay her, okay? So try to make sure you understand this champion very thoroughly, okay? Level 1 and 2, you're not going to be able to do too much killing against her because she's way more mobile than here. And if she hits 2 or 3 vitals, then you're basically just dead, okay? So try to chill out level 1 and don't go for too many crazy things. Level 2 onwards, you can actually start destroying her, but it all requires playing around her riposte properly. Her riposte is insanely overpowered, okay? It's just overpowered, okay? That ability is probably one of like the one of the abilities I hate the most in the entire game, but it's here, we just gotta play around it, okay? So you have to make sure that you don't get hit by it, okay? So, not well, first off, you gotta make sure you don't actually like get your pull blocked by her riposte, because if she blocks your E with her riposte and she stuns you, that's a 2-second stun, and she can basically do her entire ultimate in that time, okay? So do not like get your E blocked by her riposte, okay? That's the big thing, okay? Beyond that, once she has her ult on you, try to make sure to like put your back to a wall so that she can't get to that vital. That's a big part of playing against Fiora. A great thing you can know is, like, if you don't want to do that, a thing you can do is learn how her vitals spawn. Because, I mean, this is if she doesn't have her ult up, okay? If she doesn't have her ult up, but she's just fighting you, a great thing you can do is learn how her vitals spawn. Because if you do that, basically what Fiora players like to do is they like to hit one vital, and good Fiora players know where the next vital is going to spawn. So they dash you that one, okay? So if you learn how her vitals spawn, you can position it in a way where she can't hit that next vital, okay? So the Fiora matchup is basically just fighting against her and making sure she doesn't get to your vitals, okay? A thing that's very good into her is Bramble, right? Bramble is like, it's basically designed to be good against Fiora, right? If you don't like Bramble that much, you can also go Tabi's Executioners. Warden's Mail is decent against her, but she does do a lot of 2 damage, so I don't know about that. And yeah. Overall, just as long as you don't eat too many vitals and you don't get your E blocked by your plus, you should be good to go. Gnar. Everyone's least favorite Yordle, I guess. I kind of hate Gnar, to be honest. The thing about this matchup is, like, if he plays it properly, it's just a farm lane where no one dies, but you have to basically look to kill him when he's in his, like, mini form, okay? When he's in his mini form, he has way less stats, he's way more killable, and earlier on in the game especially, his auto range is kind of low, so you can actually walk up to him and pull him and kill him, okay? Now, you have to make sure you work with your ghost, you have to make sure he's on your side of the lane, all of that, okay, just play properly around everything, so those are the big things, right? A thing you can do is actually walk behind him, and when he jumps on top of you, you pull where he's gonna land. And this is just a guaranteed death sentence for Gnar, because if you pull him in the middle of the air while he's trying to get away, then he is just dead. The hard part fighting when it comes to fighting Gnar is when he is in his mega form, okay? When he is in that form, then he gets way more stats, he does way more damage, he has stuns, which means that he can just keep you stunned and kill you. A big thing is, like, Gnar, is to not fight him when he's, when you're low HP, because he can stun you and kill you during the stun, okay? So, you have to be good at dodging, okay? So, when he gets into that form, you have to make sure that line stun thing does not hit you. If it does, then you can follow up with, like, his ultimate and that thing where he throws that rock, and that can just basically obliterate you in a trade, or even just kill you under the right circumstances, okay? So you gotta make sure you got your dodging pants on, I guess. I don't know what to call it. You just gotta get good at dodging, I guess, right? So, that's the big thing, try to dodge your stuns. Understand that you can't always kill this guy because of his ultimate, okay? At any point of the time, he can just ult you back and jump towards his own turret, and the fight is basically over, okay? So you have to kind of, like, look for kills when he's in his mini form, when you have your ghost up, and use your abilities properly, and just one-shot him and kill him before he can get back into his, like, you know, super form. Anyway, that is Gnar. The next matchup is Illaoi. Against Gnar, actually, I'm returning to Gnar for a second, sorry. Against Gnar, build Tabis, okay? Second one is good against him too, but I don't like it. I like sorcery for the Musu, so I can catch him and kill him. Against Illaoi, okay? Illaoi is a very, very simple lane. There's honestly not that much to it. Dodge her E, okay? If she doesn't have her E, then if she, like, misses her E, then just goes towards her and murder her, okay? Without E, Illaoi is nothing. So yeah, big thing, dodge her E and then kill her, okay? That's pre-6. Post-6 also, just dodge her E and kill her. That's pretty much it. That's as complex as it gets. Now, if you're fighting her, it's good to have armor, it's good to have anti-heal, so you can actually put her down before she can heal off of her tentacles. But honestly, it's all about just dodging that E, okay? Try to, like, play around your minions a lot, okay? Try to play behind your minions, especially your melee minions, because once she gets some AD, she can just kill the range minions with just her tentacles and then E you anyway. So yeah, use your ghost properly to dodge that. It's actually worth it to just flash it, right? It's worth it to just flash it, because without it, her all-in power is just so much lower. So yeah. Irelia. Irelia is a similar matchup. Like, you need anti-heal, you need armor, and Warden's Mail. Actually, against Irelia, Warden's Mail is probably one of the best sleeper OP purchases. Warden's Mail, okay, the one that builds into Randuin's. Anyway, against Irelia, the lane is basically just as simple as Illaoi, dodge her stun, okay? If you dodge Irelia's stun, she is basically just dead, okay? So, yeah, I mean, honestly, nothing much matters beyond that because her Q gives her a lot of damage and a lot of healing, but if you avoid her stun, she can't do it on you 2-3 times, okay? So just dodge her E and you should be good to go. Another thing to watch out for is how many low HP minions you have near you, because not because of how much of a threat it is a threat, because if she like Qs everything, she stacks up her passive, she does a ton of damage against you, but you have to keep in your mind where this person wants to go, okay? If you're chasing her and there's a low HP minion behind you, then she's gonna queue towards it. So you have to just keep these kinds of things in mind, okay? So yeah, just keep in mind how many low HP minions you have, allied minions, of course. And also, what she can do is she can use your E, like she can queue into a minion, use your E to just get all the minions low enough to just queue to everything, and then just, you know, have her passive stacks up. So yeah, just keep those things in mind so you can better plan your all-ins against her and not get outplayed. Kennen, this is probably one of the most boring matchups in existence. So boring because he has so many ways to get away, but he is actually not even that much of a threat. This matchup is just an even matchup because no one's going to kill anyone unless one of the people, you know, messes up, okay? He is a ranged matchup, but the thing is, if you just get D-Shield and Second Wind, you can actually go for CS, and even if he pokes you, you do actually kill him anyway because his poke is so pathetic and does such less damage, okay? You just have to make sure to like back off when he has a stun stack on you, because if he has that stun stack on you, then he completes a stun, then that does like relevant amount of damage. Okay, so yeah, try to dodge his shurikens and stuff. This lane is all about how you use your E and W properly. Okay, so once you pull him, you have to make sure that you get your W on him at the same time you are stunned. Okay, so when he stuns you, either E him or W him so he can't just get away. Okay. If he just stuns you, his move speed in his lightning rush form is so fast that he can just get out of your range. But if you have him like pulled or stunned, like the second he's about to stun you, then he can't get away, which lets you just murder him with Ghost or whatever. Okay, Kled. The Kled matchup uses a lot of things we've already discussed. You need to basically just dodge his Qs. Honestly, that's like the big thing against Kled. His Q is his main sort of threatening ability. If he can land it regularly against you, then you're gonna lose because that is such a... His Q is not only a good trading ability, it's also a good ability that can start fights, okay? Especially against you on Darius because you're kind of immobile, okay? So try to dodge his Qs, avoid them. Another big thing is to avoid his W auto attacks, okay? Don't get hit by all of them. Keep his ultimate in mind because it gives him a shield and stuff, and he can also use the, escape, so try to, not let him just ult away. When he's off his Scarl, then you have to make sure to, like, not get hit by his auto attacks too much, because if he has his W up, and he is off Scarl, he can basically just get Scarl back in one rotation, by just getting those autos off and then queuing and then getting it, okay? So you have to kite him super hard when he is in his, like, off Scarl form. When he's in that form, you gotta make sure that you just kill him in one combo ASAP, because otherwise, he is just gonna get Scarl back and basically just murder you, okay? Ornn. Ornn is honestly a very, very difficult and boring matchup, because he's kind of like, Gnar, in that a properly played Ornn is not gonna be killable, but he's also not gonna kill you. Basically, you have to make sure to all-in him when you get the chance, because his trading is insanely strong, right? He is very strong at trades, and his passive shop thing lets him buy ruby crystals and mana crystals or whatever. Basically lets him stay in lane and has a sustain to just, survive through your trades, okay? So he is very good at trading, but the thing with him is that you do kind of destroy him in all-ins. So just play around your all-ins, okay? Use your ghost, use the flash. Don't get hit by his flame breath thing, okay? Try to sidestep it, or at the very least make sure that he's slowed while he claps you, because what you can do is flame breath, auto you, and he can, dash away, and basically he just got a sick trade on you and you did nothing against him. So try to have him slow so you can catch up to him, or try to kite his auto attack, whatever. The thing to understand is that your E can actually cancel his dash, so you can look forward to that. But just make sure that you don't use your E during his flamethrower, flame breath thing, because when he's doing that, he is immune to CC. Okay, so just try to like just hit him while he's doing that, and save your E to like try to cancel his dash or to like pull him into an all-in or whatever. Okay, usage of Ghost is very, very important here. When he's using his ultimate and the goat thing comes and he's about to knock into it, if you pull him, then he won't be able to reactivate the goat thing anymore, which is a very, very strong technique. Okay, so yeah, build wise, there's not much important. Just go your mythic. Oh, sorry. A refillable potion is going to be very, very nice into him because he is going to outtrade you. So having some backup is great. Second wind works fine as well. But I just would go resolve with Deep Blade so that I can just all in and kill him. Next, Pantheon. Pantheon is difficult in the earlier levels because he just trades so well. He's kind of like Gangplank, but like he's like Gangplank with balls in that he can actually put up a fight in all-ins, whereas Gangplank just runs away. What you basically need to do against Pantheon is not get hit by his spears too much, okay? So yeah, just try to play around his spears, don't get hit by them too much, don't eat them for free, just back off, chill. And once you get some armor, you do just beat him very easily in all-ins. Just try to make sure you don't get too much things blocked by his E, right? You can start your R into him and then flash behind him to get the R damage in. Post level 6, you do beat him in all-ins, provided you got the armor in the form of Tabi or in the form of whatever. Just getting armor against him is good. So yeah, just chill early, and once you get armor, it should be winnable against him. Okay, Rise. He's actually quite annoying as a ranged matchup, but again, it's one of those matchups where it's like nobody's really interacting with a wave that much. He's just perma EQ showing the wave, and you're just not doing that much, right? You're gonna get all your CS, he's gonna get all the CS, but it's basically like a farm lane, okay? The thing with this lane is you outdo him in team fights until hyper late game though, so you have that to look forward to. Anyway, so against Rise, you basically just have to like you know how he has that like stun thing, not that root thing, right? His W. You know how that ability? The range of that ability is like kind of like your E range. So if you walk towards him and he like roots you like that or slows you, because if he doesn't have his E, it doesn't root. You can actually pull him, right? So while he's trying to do that to you, if you walk straight towards him, you do pull him, right? So you can just turn that pull into all-ins with your ghost, okay? So that's what you have to look for, okay? Merc Treads is good against him. Second Wind is good, and packing some MR is good. Not too necessary, but good, okay? Sett. Okay. The Sett matchup is a skill matchup because honestly, I don't want to insult anyone, but Sett's way easier to play than Darius, so in a lower elo, the Sett player is going to be better controller of Sett than the Darius player is going to be better controller of Darius, okay? So he's just going to pull you in and bash your head and whatever, okay? Against the Sett, you have to make sure that you hit your... Okay, actually, I'm just going to link my Know Your Enemy for Sett, okay? I'm not going to do this, okay? I'm going to link my Know Your Enemy for Sett, okay? Right there or something. But I'll do it really quick. The thing about him is you gotta land your Qs. Level 1, you don't beat him, so stay away. Level 2, if he ranks his W, he kills you, so don't mess around with him level 2. Level 3 on, it's all about his W. If you can, like, dodge his W or make sure that 2 damage part doesn't hit you, you can kind of kill him, but it takes a lot of kiting, okay? You have to kite very, very well. You can't just let him trade autos with you because he's just gonna kill you, okay? So, yeah. Try to make sure you don't just auto-fight him. Kite. Make sure that you don't just miss your Qs against him, because if you miss your Qs, he just murders you hilariously well. He has 2 ways of avoiding it, his E and his R, so you have to take both into account. And yeah, if he is about to die, but he has a max shield, let's say he's at 358 health, and your ult is 300, you can E him and do auto attack R to just kill him in like, to kill him before he can W, because he can't use his W while stunned, okay? The thing with Sett is that, like, he does survive way longer than he should at low HP, because his, like, HP regen is kind of broken. So, if you think he's dead, he's more often not dead, okay? So try to, if you have the option, try to finish the job instead of just relying on your bleed fully, okay? Because he actually survives way more than he should, like I said. But yeah, I'm not gonna link the video I made on this, but I have made a Know Your Enemy on Sett. Just look Roku Sett matchup and you'll find it on YouTube. Teemo. Teemo is known as a bad matchup for Darius, but it's more so like a skill matchup because most Teemo players don't play it properly. Anyway, so against Teemo, you chill level 1, and from level 3 on, if you hit a pull, you just kill him. That's basically it, okay? Pull him, murder him, all that. When he has you blinded, try not to use your auto attacks on him, right? Try to like just pull him and use your autos, and the second he has his blind on you, use your Q, because then you're not really wasting any time, you're just using everything effectively. And yeah, honestly, just buy Sweeper and don't step into his shrooms. If you don't have Sweeper available, just make sure to not walk in the same line that Teemo players will walk. When they kite you and they run away from you, they like to do that thing where they walk into their shroom, and they want you to just walk in the straight line with them, and then there's going to be shrooms there. So level 6 on, don't walk in the same line as the Teemo. Unless you have Sweeper, then you can just find whatever line you want to walk, okay? And yeah, honestly, just pull him and kill him. Just don't take too much poke, all that, you know. Know his auto range and his Q range, and just stay out of it. Vladimir. Vladimir, like many of these matchups, is a boring matchup because if he plays it well, then nobody's gonna win the lane, and it's just gonna be a farm lane, which sucks, but it is what it is. So against Vladimir, you basically just have to land your E on him and try to all-in him from your side of the lane. Okay. There's not much you can do, honestly, beyond that. This lane is super, super boring. Just CS. And when he gets on your side of the lane, ghost up and try to just W him or E him and just kill him, okay? You have to start the fights with your E, though, because otherwise he just, like, slows you with his E, then just, you know, pulls away. So, yeah. His Q range is in, like, range for your pull. So if you walk towards him where he's trying to Q you, you can pull him. But you have to make sure, like, he doesn't pull and just ignore your own pull, okay? So yeah, I just said the word pull like 50 times for that one. But yeah, early MR is good, early move speed is good. You don't need Merc boots into Vladimir because he doesn't have CC per se, he just has a few slows here and there. And anti-heal is good, so execution works well into him. Okay, the next matchup is Volibear. Now the Volibear matchup is not liked by a lot of players because, like, Volibear has a lot of good things you can do to Darius, but basically speaking, you have to be aware of his Q and his E. First off, level 1, you beat him no matter what, okay? So level 1, just W up and just kill him, okay? So yeah, beyond level 3, it just becomes tricky because, okay, if he hits his lightning on you and himself, he's gonna win the fight, okay? Because it gives him a shield, it does a ton of damage, and it slows you, so he can just stick to you and W over and over again and murder you, okay? But a lot of good Volibears will do Q into E, okay? So you have to basically kite his Q, because, like, his E is so slow that you can just walk out of it with your Ghost. So just kite his Q, okay? Now, how do we do that? If you start your own Q, right, you have to make sure to hit him with just the edge of it, okay? You never want him to get closer into, like, the inner parts of the Q, because if he does, then his Q is just gonna make him jump on top of you, and he's gonna get you stunned, he's gonna land his E, and he's gonna avoid your Q, okay? So make sure you hit him with just the edge of your Q, okay? If you're trying to Q to poke him, of course. And another thing you can do is just ghost away from him, right? If he's Qing towards you, just ghost away and, like, run from him, and not let him get that stun off on you. And honestly, if you just kite him enough, the stun wears out, just, like, it wears out, just go back in and kill him. Another thing you can do if you don't have Ghost is E him at the very, like, if he's queuing into you, then you just E him with the very, like, end of it. And if you do it properly, he's not going to get a stun off on you, but, like, basically what's going to happen is he's going to queue towards you. And if you E him, like, before he gets the stun off, then you basically just have the E slow on him, so you can just walk away from him without needing Ghost, okay? So he's still gonna have his Q stun up, right? But you have to just make sure to walk away from the duration and then go back and once it's over, okay? So yeah, avoid the Q, avoid the E, and from then on, it's just free food. A lot of people say get Bramble or whatever, but I don't really see its necessity if you play it properly, okay? Because if he gets hit by these things, then he's going to win and beat you anyway, okay? And I don't think Bramble's going to make too much of a difference, okay? If you do need the help, I guess, then move speed's good, anti-heal's good. If he goes AP, then you need MR, but if he doesn't, like, you know, treat him like a like a fighter top laner who auto attacks a lot, because he actually does, right? With his W, his autos, right? So Tabi is okay, but Bramble's better if you want to get both the anti-heal and the armor in one go. But I don't think it's necessary if you have hands. Okay, the next matchup is Camille. Okay, we're done with the skill matchup, so I'm gonna take another break. Actually. Jeez. These tier list videos are so difficult to create because I have to just talk for like 2 hours every single time. Okay, these are the kind of lighter matchups, so I can go through them more easily though. Okay, so minor threats. The Camille matchup is a minor threat. She can trade insanely well, but you basically just win most of all-ins. Okay, so here's what you do, okay? You don't want to start Q into her if you guys have both abilities up, because she has like a lot of ways to avoid your Q, okay? She has her ultimate, she can just hookshot away from it, and the thing with like Q is if you start Q, this gives her the time to just hookshot and escape, whereas if you're just auto-attacking, you can use your E to cancel her hookshot, so never like Q her unless she has her hookshot down or ult down, whatever, okay? Just keep auto-attacking her until just stick to auto attacks for the most part, okay? So yeah. Okay, anyway. So the thing to understand against Camille is that you can actually use your E to cancel her hook shot, okay? So the way her hook shot works is she shoots her hooks and then she gets pulled, okay? You want to pull her when she's moving, not when she's shooting her hooks, because if you pull her while she's like, shooting her hooks, then her hooks are gonna pull her anyway. So you gotta make sure your E once the hooks are stuck on the wall. After that, then your E can very reliably cancel her hook shot, okay? So we have that mechanic in our heads, I guess. You have to make sure to level in lane earlier levels. You do beat her if you start W, but if she has her E start, then she could just use that slowly and walk away. So it might be better to just look what she's starting. If she has Q, then W and just murder her. But if she starts her like W, then you should start Q and then match it. Okay. So yeah, the tactical sleep or whatever it is, your Q is stronger than that as a trading tool. So if you match hers with yours, then you will come out on top. Aside from that, there's not much to think about. Just don't get spammed tactical hook by her so that she just outtrades you. And try to look for all-in opportunities. And these are when you can get a melee range for her, okay? You have to use your E to cancel her hook shot, okay? This is the job of your E. If you use it any other way, she can just get away from you. So try to start fights when you can get in a range to slow her with your W or something, or your auto attack, okay? So yeah, that's how you basically start the all-in against her, okay? Not Q, not a W. And in the middle of the all-in, if you Q, like I said, she can either ult into you, or she can just hookshot away and get away from the all-in and disengage, okay? And yeah, honestly, the threat of Camille is more so how well she can work with junglers and less so of herself alone. So yeah. Mordekaiser. This is a simple matchup. Just don't get hit by his Q when you're like isolated, right? So make sure you're in your menu so that if he tries to Q you, it does less damage. Try to trade your Q with his Qs, you'll come out on top because your Q is better. Try to make sure you don't get like tricked by his E in that like if he's like running away from you in an all-in, he might be able to just like E backwards and disengage. So try to sidestep it, right? Be aware of his E. And honestly, just kill him pre-6. You just murder him pre-6, like unless you miss your Q or whatever. So yeah, try your best to just murk him pre-6. Post-6 is where it gets interesting because he basically kills you in his ultimate. So unless you have a few stacks on him or unless you're already fed, your job in his ultimate is to survive. Okay, so just try your best to survive in his ultimate, and then you should be good to go. Okay, so if he misplays and wastes his W though, you just kill him. So if he uses his W to heal up for sustain, then you just kill him in the all-in no matter what. So keep an eye out for that. A thing to note about Mordekaiser is that he outscales you eventually, but the thing is like if you have QSS, you're basically more useful than him because you can just kill his whole team, where he can basically only kill one person from your team with his ultimate, right? So yeah, if he ults you, get 5 stacks on him, kills us out, and just murder his entire team. Okay, Nasus. The Nasus matchup is quite interesting because he kind of kills you 1v1 later in the later portions of the game, but it's a super easy matchup in lane. Okay, so your job is to get as many kills as possible in the early lane. Okay, there's not really any mechanics to it, right? You should try to look for freezes on your side of the lane, but the thing is, a good Nasus is just gonna max E and cancel the freeze, right? So just look for kills against him, and understand that post level 6, he just murders you. Okay, so try to make sure to bait out his ultimate, because while he has his ultimate up, his Q cooldown is so low that he can just kill you super fast, right? And you can't actually kite him because of his wither. So yeah, I think that helps against the Nasus matchup is phase rush, but I personally don't like it because I basically just work with my jungler to get a lot of kills on him, and then we use our leads to just destroy his team so that our backline can just murder Nasus. So yeah, just murder him and then murder his team, because later on portions of the game, it's not really your job to kill him. He's just too much for you. It's your team's job to kill him. So yeah. Next, Renekton. The Renekton matchup is usually a skill matchup, but now it's just free because Renekton's a horrible champion in this meta, and Riot nerfs him. So against Renekton, Toppies are great. Warden's Mail is great. You don't want to get murdered by him when you don't want to get like trading in. You don't want to trade into him when he has his Fury up, because his Fury abilities are very, very strong. You want to kite him very effectively because he does do way more damage than you, right? And also, the more auto attacks he gets in, the more empowered abilities he can use. So kiting him is very, very important. Try to make sure you land a W or an E when he stuns you, because a Renekton will just be able to like dig a Q, whatever, stun you, and then like, you know, dash away. When you're chasing him or something, try to make sure he can't get behind you. Like let's say this is Renekton's turret, this is you, and this is Renekton, right? If he gets behind you, he's gonna be able to do a double dash, right? Because if he dashes towards something with his E, he can dash again, right? So when you're chasing him, make sure you actually stand behind him, okay? And when he tries to walk behind you, just walk back as well. Because, yeah, just keep an eye out for that, okay? And like I said, if he stuns you, try to make sure you got a W or an E into him, okay? So that he can't actually do any of that. And your E also cancels his E, so there's that to look forward to as well. So, yeah. Next is Swain. Swain is basically just like the easiest range matchup there is. He's just so free. Just pull him and kill him. He can't really kite himself. He can't really, I guess he can't really peel himself that well. Unless he has phase rush, then he can kind of run away, but I don't think that's enough for him because he has no mobility. Don't get hit by his W. Don't be too cocky level 1, because level 3 on, this lane is hilariously easy to kill. You do need anti-heal level 6, right? Executioners is a must level 6 on. Trinity, the name of the game is kiting. Kite, 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 kite. Phase Rush helps a lot against him. Tabby's help. Warden's Mail is hilariously good against him. Kite, 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 kite. Post level, I mean, if he has his Fury up, don't challenge him because he's just going to kill you. So just try to make sure you get control of the lane and don't let him hit the minions. That's a big thing. Post level 6, you want to make sure to just burst him down, get his ultimate out, and then just wait around for 5 seconds and then get one more hit in until his ult is over, okay? And it's okay to bust out your ultimate fast into him, because basically speaking, your kiting tools of W, E, and you having Ghost are very, very strong, right? You don't really need your ult to kill Tryndamere. You just need to basically position properly, okay? Phase Rush works well into him because if he goes in on you, you can just RWQ and just run away every time, and he can't do anything about it. So if you're having issues with this matchup, then just go Phase Rush. Urgot. The Urgot matchup is quite simple. He has 2 abilities that are important, right? His flip, his dash flip, and his ultimate, okay? So yeah, the basic idea is this. You kill him pre-6 anyway. So pre-6, as long as you kite his shotgun properly, you kill him quite easily. But post-6, If he misses either of his flip or his ultimate, you just beat him in an all-in, okay? So you have to avoid either one of those abilities. Flash, Ghost, whatever, right? Avoid one of them. If you can help it, make it his ultimate, because his ultimate is quite, if it gets onto you, you're basically gonna die, because the slow on him makes it so that it gives him, like, the opportunity to walk in and do his damage, okay? Make sure you land your Qs into Urgot, because otherwise it's just gonna be kind of, horrible to try to, beat him. Warden's Mail works very, very effectively against him. It's a very good item into him. So, yeah. Tabby's also works, I guess. Next, Viego. Against Viego, you basically have to make sure he doesn't kite you with his Q range, right? His Q range is very massive. So learn the Q range and try to stay out of it unless you're planning to kill him. Sweeper works great so that he doesn't trick you with his stealth thing. Try not to just Q, blind Q, because while all the abilities are out, because he can E into you and stun you. Honestly, this is a very easy matchup to beat in a 1v1 as long as you don't get your Q dodged and just outplayed. So yeah, just murder him, honestly. Nocturne. The Nocturne matchup isn't hard to kill 1v1, but it's just hard in that post level 6, it's just very difficult to like match his effectiveness on the map. So he's gonna do everything in the map while you're just gonna do nothing, okay? So yeah. With Nocturne, honestly, just kill him, man. I don't really get what the problem with this matchup is. All he does is just throw that shadow thing at you and just chase you. But the thing is, okay, so he throws that shadow thing on you. He has his fierce locked on you, and he's chasing you, auto-attacking you, okay? So, first things first, you gotta find a way to get rid of his spell shield, okay? So to do that, do a WQ onto him, okay? And just start walking away, okay? WQ him and start walking away, okay? Now, what is this gonna do? He's gonna spell shield one of those two abilities, and if he blocks your W, then you E him, okay? And from this point on, you just kill him, okay? Because unless you just took your whole HP on that, you have your ghost up, you just basically kite, and just kill him, okay? Because that's all of his damage, okay? That thing with his fear, and maybe if he has lethal tempo, he has some more damage. But aside from that combo of his where he throws his shadow thing on you, fears you, and just chases you, he doesn't really do that much beyond that, okay? Get Talbies and just murder this idiot. Just make sure to not waste your ultimate in a spell shield. Try to use your, like, when he uses a spell shield, use your Q on it, because you actually still get the heal from your Q, okay? So yeah, that's the key thing. Just kill him, honestly. It's just, I put a minor threat because he's a minor threat to your team, because you can't actually match him that well. Okay, free lane, Cho'gath. I don't know what free lanes. I don't really know what there is to say about this matchup. Just dodge his things and kill him, really. You do have to be careful. Level 6. Like, just know how much damage his ult typically does at certain levels of the game so that you can actually not fall like under those thresholds, right? That's basically all you have to know for the Cho'gath matchup. Dr. Mundo. A few people are having problems with the matchup, but I just don't get it. He's just as easy as he used to be. Just kill him, honestly. Don't get hit by his hatchets. That's a big thing. Okay, hide behind your minions. Either hide behind one high health minion or like don't hide behind a low HP minion, right? Hide behind high health minions, because what he can do is like he can just E the low HP minion and just, still poke you down with that. His passive does make it so that we can't just start fights against him with our E's, but this means that we can, like, his passive doesn't stop slows, okay? Slows still go through his passive, slows go through his passive. And one thing you can actually do against Mundo is use your E to trick him, okay? Because a lot of Mundo players in low elo with a new Mundo are kind of brain dead in that if you just E them, they'll actually just walk towards the canister instead of just running away. So, you can just use this to your advantage, because if he's walking towards his canister, he's staying inside your range, so you can just kill him, okay? So yeah, just E him somewhere in your combo and try to just like, try to like trick him by making him stay in the fight longer than he should be using his passive, okay? Use your ghost to dodge his hatchets, okay? That's a big thing with this matchup, okay? You have to use your ghost to dodge his hatchets, or it's going to be way, way harder to fight him, because if he hits every hatchet, not only does it do a lot of damage, but you're also constantly slowed. Anti-heal works very well into this lane. The Garen matchup, there's honestly not that much to it, Be careful level 6 of his Ignite R. Be careful level 1 so that he doesn't Q you and get a lot of good damage on you. And you kill him quite freely before level 6, but to beat him after level 6, you have to use your Ghost to kite his E, okay? His spin thing, if he hits you with it, he just kills you, but you have to use your Ghost to just walk out of it, then it's just free. Malphite, quite an easy matchup, to be honest. The thing about Malphite is when he throws his Q on you, I think that the cheese roll, you know, the thing that slows you, right? When he throws that in you, the range of, like, his range of throwing it is like 630 something, okay? And 650 or something. And our E range is 535. So he stands still to throw that. So if he's throwing that at you, you basically have like 0.2 seconds, like, which is the duration of him throwing it and his animation, to walk up and pull him. Okay, so try to just walk straight towards him, and once he throws his Q on you, then you'll be just in range to pull it. Okay, that this is like the practice thing that you gotta get down. Okay, so once you understand how to do it, you'll be able to do it every single time. Okay, just walk straight towards him and pull him. Okay, Poppy, honestly, just kill her. I mean, you're basically just kind of hard counter her. Try to use your W when she has that, you know, dash blocking thing activated. Try to stand between her and a wall, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Rengar, level 1, try to back off from bushes, okay? Because if he goes Ignite, Conquer, whatever he does, just kill you level 1. But from level 3 on, it's quite easy. If he jumps on you or on a minion, just do auto WQ. And if he does WW away, just E him, use your Ghost to just chase him down and murder him. Be careful because he can't actually jump to your minions and outplay you, kinda, so just be aware of that. He can do that. Super is quite nice against him because you can actually see him and how he positions in bushes, so you can kind of predict what he's going to jump onto. And yeah, you can also E him while he's in the middle of the air and cancel his Q, not his Q, his auto attack, right? So you can cancel his jump using your E. Shen, it's kind of hard to beat him level 1, but he's basically free post level 3. Just honestly, like, once you pull him, you gotta just walk behind him, so that even if he does dash through you and taunt you, you're still chasing him and you're still in range to just auto attack him. And don't waste your W when he has his auto attack blocking thing activated. That's a big thing. And yeah, level 6 on, you just murder him. The thing about Shen is trying to understand macro, because basically what you have to do is you gotta keep an eye out on the rest of the map, so that when there's a play available for the Shen to teleport to, then you're basically not letting him do that. You gotta just keep up the pressure and be in range to just walk up and pull him out of his ult, okay? So you try your best to cancel his ultimate whenever you can, okay? And this can be done by just constantly shoving lanes into his turret to make sure he just doesn't get anything off. Now, if the jungler is on your side of the map, you can't really do this, just perma-freeze off of him. And unfortunately, the bot lane or whatever will get Shen ulted, but there's not much you can do about it, because if the Shen and the enemy jungler are top, then if you actually walk up and push the lane, you're just gonna die. So this lane is all about not griefing pre-3 and making sure you have the macro to see what he can go for. Singed. Again, just kill him. Honestly, he can't really do anything against you. The only threat is that he can proxy, so when you first spawn, try to walk with your minions. Don't let him just free shove your minions, okay? Try to protect your minions. When he flips you, try to start your W on him, so that, like, you know, you can, once he finishes the flip, you can just E him and, you know, just kill him. Ghost is just gonna let you, like, melt this guy. Same thing with Renekton, in that if you're chasing him, this is a turret, this is you, this is him. If you're chasing him and you get in front of him, or he gets behind you, he can just flip you towards your turret and just walk away to safety. So just make sure that when you're chasing him, you're constantly just behind him, okay? Behind him, or you're at an angle where if he flips you, it's not that bad of a thing and you can still continue to fight. Sion, just kill him. Yone, against Yone, you have to just catch him outside of his E, right? When you can catch him outside of his E, he's just super free. You can just kill him. But the thing is, what he can do is he can Q the wave twice, and he can E into you, do a very good trade, and then E back, right? That's the thing that Yone can do himself. But if you're close to him, then you can just ghost onto him. And if he's outside of his E, then he's basically just dead. Just make sure you understand how his ult works, so that he can't just use it to, you know, escape. it's kind of not the most difficult thing to sidestep. So if you're already in motion with Ghost and you're expecting it, you can just sidestep it. As for Yasuo, honestly, like I said before, for many of these matchups, just kill him. If the Yasuo is good enough, he can actually beat you level 1 and 2, but beyond that, he really can't do much of anything else against you. Okay, oh god. 90 minutes of just talking. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I'm gonna go rest. See ya. I hope you guys had a lot of use out of this video.